All right, friends. Happy February. What is today? The 26th. We have 2 days left in the month. Kind of crazy. Um, Excited that you're all here tonight. We're going to do a little bit of a world tour recap. For those that maybe didn't go to world tour, it's going to be brief, but hopefully you get the gist of kind of how it went down. Carrie, sorry you're not feeling good. Migraines seem to be the thing of the week. No fun. All right, so World Tour. The theme this year was Bud, Bloom, and Blossom, which lines up with By Host Join, which is kind of a fun, unique, different way to look at the opportunity. Um, I loved how they set it up perfectly with the transitions with product announcements. They showed all the new spring, summer stuff and the LTOs that we're going to be having um, in the spring. I'm not going to share any of those because they'll get announced in the next week or two. Um, but there was a lot of great information that was shared from consultant speakers. And so as we were all at different locations, um, there were different speakers at each location. So everybody probably kind of got a little bit of a different spin on the same topic. Um, the big focus this year is acquiring new customers. Another focus is having non-consultant hosts. So getting you off of the hosting wagon and getting other people hosting, which will in turn allow you to acquire new customers, which I think is really, really powerful. Um, they talked about finding new customers, which is awesome. Um, Increasing repeat orders was also a topic of discussion that was shared, and how to do that and what it looks like to increase repeat customers. And then we moved kind of into hosting and increasing team promotions as we have team promotions. They also shared our spring summer incentive. Um, Last year, and I still have it hanging up. Funny. Last year they did this incentive, right? The 20 years, cheers to 20 years, where you had each month you had a different task to do. And this spring summer, they are doing a bingo card. They just showed like a grid of bingo spaces. Um, so I'm anxious and excited to hear what that looks like. I can imagine there will be some PRV. There will be, I mean, looking at what they did last year, I could imagine it will be similar. But I also think that they may possibly throw in some sponsoring things in there as well, as we are trying to blossom our business, right? So watch for that. I believe they announced it starts March 1st. So I imagine they will have all the requirements and the different tasks for each bingo square announced soon. Um, so watch for that because that's something that we can definitely all strive to do as we continue to grow in the new year. So I wanted to just kind of go around. I think that was mainly everything that they shared. They also talked about SFR. Um, that was not mainly everything. Sorry, that was like a quick 5-minute recap of a whole day of training. Um, I'm thinking main stage type things. They also talked about SFR registration opening up soon in the month of March. Um, that will be the end of July, July 28th for leadership, 29th through 31st for SFR. So our annual convention. So watch for that. It's in Minneapolis. Who's all planning to go? Show your hands raised up high. Yes, awesome. It will be a lot of fun as it always is. So Um, Anything else that you can think of from the main stage? Anybody? I didn't really take notes when they were talking because I felt like it was all stuff that I kind of knew was going to happen. Well, not all of it, let's be honest. Okay, so let's talk about maybe your notes that you took, if you took notes, or maybe a takeaway from your world tour experience. What was something that was shared that you're like, ah, this is something that I'm going to do, or this is something that I'm going to strive to accomplish, or I'm going to implement this in my business. Um, we'll just go through. If you were a world tour, just take a minute and share. We'll just kind of go around, and that'll, I think, give us a good little recap of all the different topics that were talked about. Um, yeah, let's jump to it. Who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, so my big takeaway that they said at ours was that Sensi brings the product and we as the consultants bring the people. And so we don't have to worry about the product that's coming out because they always have that. They're the ones that are working on what's coming, the trends. We just have to bring the people. And so when we focus on that side of it, it kind of strips away how difficult we often make it. Like we don't even have to sell the product. If you've been here for a minute or two, you know the product sells itself. We just have to create relationships with people. And we've come through, at least in ours, like we've come through this pandemic and people got really detached, really isolated, almost this like, I don't need nobody, I don't like nobody kind of mentality and season that the world went into. But the secret that we have in Sensi is that we can actually be the positive back in the world, which is what we are known for. We are known for the cohesive community. We are known for people wanting to know why we love what we do. It's the trips, it's the relationships, right? And so, one thing that one of our speakers shared is simple things that you can do in your business that make such a difference. Happy birthdays to all your Facebook friends. Literally being somebody that's just connecting. Facebook already tells us this, right? So she's like, I used to do this. I don't know when the last time was, but just a simple, hey, Rachel, happy birthday. I love you, and the reality is it's Rochelle, but you get inside jokes with people, and so connecting with them, also finding something that sets you apart. Don't be the guy that just loves plants. Be the guy that loves plants, right? Like, or be the funny meme person, or be Rochelle who loves her dang dogs and living in the country. Like, whatever your brand is, own it and then connect with people through whatever that is, right? She also likes leopard print and bling, but who's counting, right? I got you. The other thing, okay, so tangible ways that this speaker shared was the way that she grows her network. So if you're like me, I've been in business almost as long as Lindsay. So 17 years, feel like I had to go get a job to meet people, felt like I got to get out of the house and do something. But what she does is she does a goal of 7 Facebook parties a month. And with each party, she gives each hostess a goal of 20 people added into that Facebook party. At the end of the party, she adds every single person onto her Facebook solely with the purpose of Facebook being a business tool for her, right? So then she says after that, 2 to 7 from each party helps her grow her friends, a minimum of 2 to 7 people. So if your goal is 7, maybe you don't even get 7 full parties, maybe you only get 2 or 3 parties. But if those 2 or 3 parties give you 2 to 7 people a piece, you're looking at 14 to 21 new friends on Facebook that are going to start watching you and watching how you work your business and watching how excited you are. And literally, I mean, the way she did it, I was like, yeah, that is how easy it is. That is what I used to do. I forgot to do that when I got so busy because sales just fell in my lap and it's not difficult. I just have to be intentional with how I do it. So I thought that that was like my big takeaway is Sensi brings the product, I bring the people.
I love that. There was my good friend Jamie Pilcher. She shared in her presentation, kind of goes along with what Bree was saying about wants to everybody knows somebody who's like the guy, right? Like, oh, who's your electrician? Oh, who's your yard guy or who's your whatever guy? And she talked about how we need to be the Scentsy guy. Like, be the Scentsy guy or gal, you be the person that everybody's referring to. That's those relationships and those connections where, someone posts on the neighborhood Facebook page, hey, anybody know anybody that sells Scentsy? I want to be that guy, right? I want to be the guy that everybody's sharing, um, that they know that sells Scentsy. So yeah, love that. All right, who wants to go next?
We'll go next.
Okay.
My name's Rachel. I'll go next.
Hey,
Um,
Zen.
so there was two different speakers, and I didn't write who they were, and I didn't actually take a lot of notes because I was paying attention. But the two things that I takeaways from it were, you know how you always ask, or we always ask someone to join, or if they're interested in the opportunity, and if they say no, a lot of times we just say okay. And one of the speakers said, ask when someone's making a purchase, if they've already told you they're not interested, the next thing to ask them would be, who do you know that could benefit from your purchases? And I was like, oh, like huge aha moment for me because I don't ever ask that. And so I was like, that was huge. And then another speaker talked about Happy Mail. When you send your customers Happy Mail, um, include an envelope that's got like you could do whatever you wanted, but like the product list, the sheets that are real cheap to mail and they're thin, she puts on an envelope like share with a friend, and then she puts her information on it. So not only is she sending Happy Mail to her neighbor or her neighbor, I'm going there next. Not only is she sending Happy Mail to her customer, but she's also putting something in the mail saying share with a friend. So it would be an easy way to, you could also incorporate, them having a party, share with a friend. And if you have multiple friends that want to order, then you could be the host. It's that easy. So I thought that those were the two huge takeaways. And then one of the home office people was saying, and it's so huge because people constantly think, oh, well, people can get, wax at Walmart or people can go get wax other places. But what we have that's beneficial over all these other companies, customer service is our secret sauce. Walmart doesn't have that. Target doesn't have that. All these big companies, they don't have that. They don't care about the customers. They don't send them happy mail when they come and buy from them. They don't check on them after they've ordered something or gone to pick up something. They don't have any kind of follow-up system. So remember that. Always remember that that is each one of us individuals, that is our secret sauce. You can make it what you want it. Make it your ranch, because I love me some ranch. Make it whatever you want, but it's your secret sauce.
I
There
love
you go.
that. So
Did
I
you see a
think
while ago, Bree? I was showing you my dogs. They're in their beds. I
it
just wanted to
was.
make sure you saw them.
I love how they just nuzzle down in there. Okay,
They
so
do.
Orville shared one of the things that Rochelle shared, and I recorded it. So we're gonna watch it real quick. This is like me being super fancy techie here. So can you see it? Awesome.
Sister could you right? Who do you know that could benefit from the commission from your purchases? So that's just my aha moment. That's
Okay, so that's the question, right? Who do you know that could benefit from your purchase? Kind of goes along with what Rochelle shared. But that was his aha moment in Houston, at Tour, which is really cool to think about, right? Like, who do you know that could benefit from your purchase? You might not want to join Cincy, but who do you know that would want to? All right, who wants to share next? And we don't all have to share, so don't feel like you have to.
I'll go ahead. So I had quite a few little blips here and there. My notes were not as like full in certain areas because I like got all into the speaker and was internalizing it, but I forget. Then I'd look and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to write that down. But anyway, Lindsay Shelton said, you were not put on this path to mainly be planted. You were meant to bloom and blossom. And looking back, I don't remember like her total meaning behind it, but with the whole, I'm taking it as now I'm taking it, the buy part is, I'm losing I lost my notes. Hold on. The buy part is, bud. So I'm mainly to be planted. I need to stop just getting orders here, orders there. I was meant to bloom and blossom. I need to find hosts. I need to find other teammates and share that with. So I need to start blooming and blossoming, focusing on that part instead of just putting little buds here and there. So I did like that. That was my like internal thing. Um, Another part, um, I don't even know, I don't know who said it. If this was I think this may have been the main speakers, but they were saying be careful when you're following up with people. Um, Avoiding that follow up thing, and
You call it the
don't
F word. Avoid the F word.
avoid the F word, and avoid, and which I'm really bad at saying, well, if you need something, let me know.
Or, hey,
Because
I just want to follow up with you.
yeah, and let me know if you need anything.
Yeah.
And I need to be a little more purposeful with my messages, and that goes with, and I am doing better about if I send out happy mail, following up with it, because that's another thing. If you're sending out something, you need to follow up on it so it's not just lost in the world.
Yeah, that's
The
what Jonay said. I'm right there with you in my notes. She said, mail, like mail your samples, mail whatever, and ping, right?
Yeah,
Ping them. So like text them or something.
yeah,
Don't do the thing. So that was her little saying that was really catchy. It was really catchy. Mail and ping or don't do the thing.
yes. And then the other thing was from Amber and Clint Turner. Get to know someone new every day. And when you've got people that when they say I'm too busy, that's great. That means you know people. So that was another big hit. Um, and then I just with your speech, Lindsay, I was just like the whole time, and so all I got on there was the topic of it was be a team player. Yours is just this
Be a
this
team
this inner go get them. So,
Yeah, get 'em.
but overall, I am going to focus more on actually asking people to host, because I really think that I can find some customers that actually want to have in-person things now.
Definitely. I love that. I also liked one thing that Janae said. She said, people love community, connection, and friends. People love that. So when we focus on that within our business, um, it's only going to continue to grow. So, all right, who wants to share now? Veronica, I see you're unmuted.
Am I muted?
You're unmuted, so that means
Oh,
you
I'm
want to
unmuted.
share.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah. Okay, so there was one part that I really liked. I don't have a green thumb, so there was a plant that they were talking about, and it's called the ivy. And they pretty much said like the ivy doesn't need a lot of attention, a lot of water, like that one gets buried under the soil and it regrows. And I thought of that in my business because I think towards the end of every season of the catalog season, we feel like we're overwhelmed, we're buried. But the good thing about the beginning of every season of a catalog is that we can all relaunch our business. It doesn't matter how many years or how long we've been in Scentsy or how successful we may be in the business. Everybody can start all over again. I pretty much all the speakers that talked or presented it was things that it's not things that I had never heard before, but it was great reminders. And one of the main things was going back to the simplicity of Scentsy and having home parties, because home parties is where it all comes together. It was easy, it was fun. I was meeting new people, getting new recruits, getting new hostesses, building my connections, building social media. And I want to say, like, during pandemic, for me personally, I got lazy because everything just came, and now it's like people aren't coming to us like they used to. So now we need to get out there, and just like my early years in Sensi, it was getting those testers under people's noses is what really helped. And it was a reminder for me that I need to start doing that again, and just remembering how easy and simple Sensi can be. But I feel like in my head, I've been complicating it, and it's really not that complicated. So going back to the basics for me was huge, and what perfect time than right now that we're starting a new catalog season. There's so much new coming, and it's just time to rebuild again, and make connections again.
I love that. I loved the plant analogies. They were so fun. They showed like three examples and kind of like related them to customers. And it was really cute. Really, really fun way to think of just different types of customers that we have. All right,
Kenzie,
Connie.
I'll pop in. Yep.
Ah,
Heyo, how you doing?
hey,
I will say I had Uber FOMO because I opted to go to Nashville so I could be with some team. It was going to be some team. It ended up being one team, one team member. I was like, arg! But we had a really good time. We had Sarah and Dan was there, so we had a really good time. And like a week before, Sarah's like, "Can you talk?" I was like, "Sure, I'll talk." But anyway, I'm gonna be brutally honest. My takeaway was nothing, and here's why: because I've been stuck in such a rut of just me not working my business that I utilize this world tour as kind of like a slap in the face and a wake up call, and me looking at my numbers, going, eh, eh. And then when I step out of the picture, I'm like, well, darling, you haven't been working your business. So it is a direct result of the work you're putting in. So you use always World Tour and SFR is always that little fire starter, right? That little Kickstarter. But it was for sure one of those for me this year. And it was like, girl, what are you doing? Come on. A little slap my face, get to stepping. You got to get working. That was my takeaway is get to stepping. And we need to have World Tour when it's not cold and there's no snow, because the second year that I was stuck in snow and I was miserable.
100%.
Not about it. No
Yep.
more snow.
I love that, Connie. I love that for everybody, it's just so individual what you take away and what you are going into the event looking for, maybe, um, and what you walk away with. I love how personal it is for each of us. You got that slap in the face. Let's go, girl. Right?
Right. Get to stepping.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll go. I'll go.
Hey.
So we are in our sophomore year of being consultants. So last year was all about the newness of it and the excitement and everything and meeting everybody. This year was the speakers were great. They provided a lot of information. I wrote down so much information and ideas on different things that I want to do with our business. Everything from basket parties, which we've never done before. We've just really relied on Facebook. Basket parties. What other things? Oh, I'm a big old succulent too, by the way. When they did the
I
plant
can see
analogy, I
that.
just kind of sat there and Marcus looked at me and goes, "Yeah, you're a succulent." It's like, "Yeah, you're an ivy." But just all kinds of ideas. I walked away from that with page after page after page scribbled in my book of different ideas. And then, like, the doors just opened and other ideas came in for possible flyers, possible video posts to do, possible fundraisers, additional fundraisers, and getting out into the community to see if we can partner with anybody from a dog rescue to a vet to anything and everything. And my mother-in-law is senior community now. You know, we spent some time talking to a couple of her friends, and now they're interested. So, you know, there's another uh, avenue for us to explore. They don't do Facebook, so it's going to be more in person. So that's going to
Yeah.
be kind of interesting for us.
I love your thought about how you got all these ideas and then the ideas in your mind just started flowing. A lot of times, what we get out of an event isn't what is said. It's like what is heard in our minds or what we think about as something is being shared. That was Orville's aha moment. No one shared that. He's like, but I thought this as you were talking, and it inspired me to think about this way of working our businesses. So I love that, George. Thank you for sharing.
And the
But
one thing I'll add too,
yeah.
with the Facebook posts, we do like 3 a day, and we really have been up until this point really kind of focused on, other than warmers, what do we have? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about
Mhm.
this. And it's been going okay, but we walked away from that, and in hearing other people talk, we've been trying to get more of our personality into it. And that was one of the key things that was said. So having a sense of humor. So we're devoting one of our posts every day just to a head scratcher, just to get you thinking. Could be a question, could be a poll, could be just some weird thing that I found while I was cruising endlessly down YouTube or something, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, and Sensi Blog, don't forget Sensi Blog. That was a very good tool. That was a shout out at ours that we
So
should be
good.
using the blog, right?
Yep. But I think that one thing to be said about all the ideas you wrote down, right? All of us, if you took notes, your binder's full of notes, but it does nothing sitting up in the cupboard. It does nothing in your drawer. It only works when you put it to work. You have to put the things and ideas that you got from the event into action. And that's where the magic happens. The magic didn't happen at the event. It will happen when you implement the things that you learned from the event. All right, who else wants to share?
I want to talk.
Awesome. Thanks, Carrie.
Okay. So, this was my like 13th world tour, I think.
Yeah.
And my mindset going into it, of course, is a little different probably, but I mean, I want to get things out of it too, but I'm thinking in terms of my teenies who are not there and what can I bring back to share with them
Mhm.
always. The ones who can't make it for whatever reason or another. And then I wrote down some things for their behalf. And one of the slides that impressed upon me rather for them was, do you believe that you can grow with Sensi? Because too many times I hear like excuses. And as leaders, we have to always be the excuse buster, I feel like, to what their reason is why they can't do something or, you know, it's holding them back. And so I feel like if people don't have that belief in themselves of why they, can grow, everything starts with reflecting on you, right? Your growth, your forward progress. You have to get out of your own way. So if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect your business to grow? Since he can give you all the tools that are there, but if you don't believe that you're going to do it or achieve it, you're right. So um, that slide, even though I wasn't expecting to go there and really get anything, like, I mean, I shouldn't say that because it's not true, but like I wasn't going there. I was going there on behalf of my team, you know, um, to grasp things. It just was like there's the aha that I can take and hopefully help with their eye-opening moments. Let them get some self-reflection and see you need to believe in yourself in order to grow your business and start to bloom and blossom
Yeah.
as well. So that was one of the notes that I wrote down and have been sharing with them since we came back. Um, that it is also the mindset, which is another thing that they mentioned. Um, if you believe in what you have to offer, you transfer that when you're talking to people about the opportunity. And instead of, saying to yourself, oh, I need to get a new teenie, I need to get my next teenie, then you say, how is, or how is what I have something that can help somebody today? Who can I bless today with this? Like you change the wording up in your mind, and then you look for people that, listen for cues with people you're talking to, whether it's at a party or sitting in the bleachers at the ball field or wherever. If they're talking about how they're struggling to make ends meet, then you say, you know, like natural progressive conversations about, I used to be like that too, and wonder, how I was gonna put shoes on my kid every other week when his feet were growing an inch a minute, you know? And then I started selling Scentsy when he was 6 years old, and now he's 21, whatever the case may be. And so I was able to get him in shoes when he grew like a weed. So I get it. That's how I started this, was because I wanted to be able to keep up with his growing feet and still be able to put food on the table and stuff like that. So you make it personal, you know reach out like with things like that. Make sponsoring a conscious effort every day. That's another thing that they said. You have to put that in your mind that that's something you want to do. And like, just like brushing your teeth and brushing your hair, once you start making it on purpose, it'll become a habit and you won't have to remind yourself to do it all the time. So that's just a couple of things that I got to bring back to them.
I love
That
it. That's scary. All
yeah.
right, Ashley, you want to share?
One of the things that I'm excited to try out in my business is the weekly journey planner.
Yes.
So I can't wait to I have a cousin that um has just hosted a party. We're just started it. And I think I'm going to, if she does it in person, I'm gonna bring a copy with me and um but I'm going to switch it up. I think I'm thinking about how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to switch it up and do like put the A through J in questions. Like who is interested in samples, who um who else is interested in hosting an in-person event? My problem is it's hard with no transportation. So we're working on that part. But
Yeah,
I think I'm going to turn the letters or the statements into questions.
I love that. Um, did everybody see that the weekly journey planner is now in the workstation so you can print them out as much as you want? And you can also um, copy the one that you got there at World Tour. So I think it'll be a really great tool. But again, a tool is only as good as it is used or as you use it, right? You can't get all these tools and do nothing with them and expect to be successful. You have to put them into action. And once you see the action, once you put them into action, then you'll see the difference that they make, whether it's good or bad. Because sometimes we try things and they just don't, they kind of flop, right? But sometimes we do things and it picks up momentum and we just start running with it. So I love that. Thank you, Ashley, for that.
You're welcome.
All right. Anybody else want to share?
I'll share.
Hey,
I
thanks.
said,
So I didn't take much notes either because I just get caught up with talking and stuff. But I did just notice like kind of like a change of pace, if you will. Like I just obviously, our focus as a whole is different, with the changes and everything going on. Like I can definitely see that like Scentsy's focus was different. Um kind of like Veronica said, like it wasn't stuff that we hadn't heard before, because like we'd heard some of that stuff before, because a lot of it's like the same. But a lot of it was kind of like a wake-up call, and the speakers were really good. I loved the planner. I also wanted to say that I loved that little planner. I thought it was a really nice resource for us. But I really loved the plants and the plant analogy, and here's why. Because the way that they talked about it, and like getting to know your customers, and like that's what this business is about. It's like it's a relationship business, right? We have to know our people, we have to know our customers. You know you're not going to talk to your Ivy about all the people she could be helping if she joined. You're going to talk to her about the trips and all the fun stuff, because she wants to go out there and have fun. And so a lot of that, like it's based off color personality. And it's a really good book, actually, if you've never read like the 4 color personality book. It's really awesome, especially for network marketing. It just goes into depths about different people's personalities and how to talk to them. And so that's what they were talking about. Like they gave like different scenarios with the different plants, and like, what would you say to this person in this situation? And what would you say in this situation? And with every person that you come across, it's also just like that, whether you're trying to get them to host or trying to get them to join. Like the way you talk to people matters, and the words that you use really matters. And the more you know your customers, the better you can talk to them and know their language, basically, and love language, like all of that stuff, right? It like all goes together. So I loved that they kind of brought that up, and it's just like is just a reminder that we really do need to get to know our people more. Somebody, they had mentioned, just like, and I feel like I know my customers well, but like I don't know their kids' names and like a lot of stuff like that. And so someone had mentioned just like, reaching out just to be like, oh, how was your kid's soccer game? Or like, how was, and staying connected on Facebook, the birthdays, like all of that, just being more present and learning more about people, because people care, they want to be seen, and they want to know that they're not just another sale for us. And they also mentioned, like, yeah, when you're following up, do you just follow up and say, hey, I'm following up? Do you want to place another order? Or do you say, how are you enjoying the last bars and warmer that you received from me? Because I'm totally guilty of that. So I want to also start trying to do that a little bit more as well, like not just following up, but really following up and asking about their last purchase. Are they having any issues? I had a customer that directly reached out to Scentsy. She didn't even tell me that she was having trouble with an order, but I didn't double check to make sure all of my clearance orders from the flash sale had shipped out, and one of them hadn't. And it was to a customer. She ordered like 4 different times from me during that 2 days. And so I should have been making sure that all of her stuff got shipped out, but one of them didn't. And I saw a chat pop up in my workstation, and I opened it, and because I was like, what is this, compliance or something? Like, and she had reached out to them all by herself. And I was like, oh my goodness, and I told her, like, if that ever happens again, like, please don't hesitate. You're never bothering me. I would just rather take care of it for you than you having to reach out. But it was kind of like, oh my gosh, like that was me not doing my job, like not paying attention to my orders or my customers. And somebody reached out to Scentsy by themselves. So, just all little things, like we got to just be more present and be more aware in our businesses. And yeah,
I
but
love
I
that.
love the World Tour. I really enjoyed it this year.
So fun. You were in El Paso, yeah?
Yeah, I
You got to
was.
see Veronica.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. All right, Johnny, you're up.
Obviously, I loved it. It was all about plants. That's it. I'm just kidding.
He's the plant guy. We know this.
No, so my biggest takeaway is honestly just going back to basics. And one of the biggest things is relationship building. I've been so lost in my own stuff in life that I've kind of just stopped building relationship for people. I have stopped answering people how I used to answer people. I've stopped communicating how I used to communicate. So just I really want to be intentional about rebuilding relationships, and I'm on my phone and my face is always in a computer screen because I work from home and I work on a computer all day. And I have, multiple windows open on two screens. So I have Facebook pulled up while I'm making calls and I'm scrolling all day long. So I'm gonna just be very intentional about paying attention to my teammates and what they're going through. Um, Messaging customers that I see and like, oh, little Timmy fell off the apple tree. How is he doing? Like, is everything great? How was that hospital trip? Just being very intentional about things like that because I haven't been. Um, and I, what? No way.
You guys hear him talk to me?
Oh no.
That's rude.
But yeah, just relationship building was my biggest takeaway, and was getting back to that because that's really what this business is about, is relationships. Like, we can't have this business and not have no relationships. And I see that I have no relationships with none of my teammates really, and I have no relationship with none of my customers really. And most of my sales these days are Scentsy clubs, which it's nice to have those to rely on, but I don't want that to be the only thing I rely on. I want to those sales that continue to come in because, like Cher just said, they're not just another sale. They're someone who is like, I really like this guy and I really want to support him, and I see what he has for, the vision he has for his business, and I want to continue to be a part of that, not only by, being another sale to him, but by being, a part of that journey with him. So just going back to relationship building.
Love that. There was something shared, and I don't know who shared it, but they talked about, instead of selling our products, serve our customers, right? So find a need and fill the need. The more we serve our customers, our team members, the more we will be able to help them with whatever their need is at the current time. And I love the connections. Like Janae said, people love community, connection, and friends. Like, people love that. When you reach out to people, when you connect and just, how's your day going? Oh my gosh, I was thinking about you today. I hope you're doing good. Or even just sliding up in maybe their stories, or just commenting on Facebook or texting, whatever it is, right? I think it's just important that we all remember that this is a relationship business, and the wax and warmers and all the other things, that's just the vehicle, right? And the relationships are what are going to be sustaining our business, our customers, getting to know our customers, getting to know their needs, what they want, what they like. I had a customer come over today and she just needed a new light bulb for her egg warmer that she just got out from her storage to put up for Easter. And I was like, okay, well, you're here. Like, do you want to smell the new scents? And she was like, oh my gosh, yeah, you have them? I'm like, yeah, I do. I just got them. So a $10 sale turned into a $40 sale, right? I saw a need because she hasn't bought wax from me in a long, like, over a year probably. So like, I know she's cheating on me somewhere. I don't care, but she's in my house. So you better believe I'm going to encourage her to buy some wax because she hasn't bought wax from me in a hot minute. So provide a service to your customers and to your team, right? Serve them, love them, care for them, all the things. All right. We're going to end it there. We're going to stop the recording. So thanks for being on live, everybody.